Hi everyone. Today I do a podcast with Jorge Sebastiao, a famous person in Dubai, a founder of EcoX company, and to welcome guests in other events in Dubai and other cities in this world. Hi George.
Good morning.
How are you?
It's a pleasure to be here, always.
Oh, cool. Tell me about yourself more and for my subscribers. What are you doing in Dubai?
Okay. My name is Jorge Sebastiao. I am a mathematician. I am a technologist. I've worked in technology now for 35, 36 years. So I've seen the entire evolution of technology from more traditional big mainframe computers to today's cloud computers. But of course, technology continues to evolve, and definitely in the last 10, 15 years, we have done a lot of work on artificial intelligence, blockchain, mobile apps, cloud computing, just to name a few. So a lot of work is being done also on fintech as well. In the last few years, also a little bit more work has been done on gaming, as well as on metaverse, or sometimes what we call immersive technologies. Now, with any new technology, one of the biggest challenges is always to get people to understand the technology and to onboard them to the technology, especially if the technology is not always user-friendly, like blockchain is not so user-friendly. So one of the important elements is to actually help startups to get organized and build community, to also get the community to understand the technology. So almost 7 years ago, we started something called EcoX. EcoX stands for Ecosystem Connections. And primarily this was about building community within blockchain, fintech, cybersecurity, and other modern technologies. So the way we build that community is by holding or helping regular events. We started by doing them once a month, then we ended up doing them once a week. And we had like different formats. One is just traditional meetups or business meetups, but then we expanded to actually have things like presentation from companies or pitches, as we sometimes call. And also we have and hold regular panels. So in these panels, we invite anywhere from 4 to 6 people. And during a period of 1 hour plus, we debate some of these latest topics, and we inform the community of the latest trends, and people can ask questions. And then the rest is followed up by a networking meeting where people can grab some drinks and network with. But we believe very much that the success for business and technology specifically has 3 major key ingredients, and we call these 3 ingredients MBC. That's M is for money, so the businesses need the proper investment to allow to experiment with the new technology and get it mature. They need the brains, which means need smart people, need ideas, need new ways to do things. And the last one is what we call contacts or connections. And this is probably the most important of the 3 ingredients, because no matter how good a solution you have, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much smart people you have, you need to have good connections for the system to be successful. And these connections come from business relationships, they come from marketing and business development, they come from community development. So that's kind of what we do in a very simple way.
It's very, very nice. And I got to question about artificial intelligence. Okay. With the starting, what's your opinion about artificial intelligence in MENA region, USA, and Asia?
Well, first, artificial intelligence has been with us for 30, 40 years. So it's not like not a new trend. Number 2, artificial intelligence has been evolving for such a long time. But it's always been a challenge because it's very expensive to do artificial intelligence. Why? Because you need large amounts of storage for the data you need to analyze. You need also very strong computing power. Both used to be quite expensive. The cost of storage continues to come down very dramatically, so that made artificial intelligence more feasible. we have also a whole new generation of CPUs called GPUs or NPUs. NPUs is numerical processing units. GPUs is graphic processing units. So they were originally used for gaming, but because they were used for gaming, they also became very useful for artificial intelligence. What that really means is today a GPU is as powerful 1,000 times as a normal CPU on a machine. It means it can analyze and crunch more data much more rapidly. That really means, let's look at an example that is live today and has become very popular. It's called ChatGPT. So look at ChatGPT as better Google. So as you know, when you go search on Google, first you find lots of things you don't care about because it's not clear always the answers. Then you have advertising on the left or on the right, which again is a bit distracting. If you go to ChatGPT, what they did is they took the information of the entire internet and they passed it by an artificial intelligence engine. And that really means instead of just putting terms, you can ask in plain English the questions that you want answers for, and then what ChatGPT is, it answers you based on that information. So it has digested all the information on the internet and now answers it back in a structured way without any advertising. So you can use today ChatGPT to answer questions. You can use ChatGPT to write articles. You can use ChatGPT to create videos or audio for you or images. So it has become very flexible. Yes. Now, of course, different parts of the world are not always at the same speed. So if you say North America is always a bit ahead because they invested a lot in technology, but the Middle East for the last 27 years that I've been here has invested a lot. And that really means when I first came here, internet was very slow and very difficult. We used to use fax machine to reserve an hotel. Today, in the middle of the desert, you can do a video call, 4G, or even sometimes 5G, depending on the location that you are. That really means you have high available capacity for bandwidth at not so expensive cost. So that means even technologies like artificial intelligence have become a commonplace and can easily be made available to people that have like a mobile phone. If you look at Asia, and more specifically countries like China, which have invested massively in technology, as you know, China has got very big cities, like for example, some place like Shanghai, it's got maybe like 13 million people. We have a new generation of cities like Shenzhen, which we can call almost like smart cities. So what China is doing is every time they're building a new smart city, they're also building data centers to provide artificial intelligence and smart services to the smart city. So they realize that if you want to have a smart city, you need to have a high computing power and high connectivity for the smart city to work. So that means you have connection to IoT sensors, you have high transfer of information, you have edge computing, which is smaller data centers where the data is actually collected. Then you can offer better services to the citizens, like smart traffic, smart health, basically smart government services. So this enables the city to be much more efficient than it will have traditionally be. So you can say that artificial intelligence is becoming an essential part of the today's modern city or modern smart city. Actually, we have gone beyond that. Today, almost 2 or 3 years ago, I started using the term conscientious city. Conscientious city is like a smart city that is trying to serve the citizens in a better way. So it's not just optimized for speed, but it's optimized for the needs of the people. That's what I mean by conscientious. So it's not just faster, but it's also good and better.
Ah,
Yeah. So it is trying to understand what is the needs of the citizen in terms of traffic management, in terms of health management, in terms of education, in terms of tourism, the kind of services that are provided around the smart city, but provided them in a better, more intelligent way.
some people segment that artificial intelligence is a problem for his work. For example, one writer has lost his job because other copywriters use artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, other programs, Twitter.com and so on. And it's very cheaper from hire a professional writer. I think it's a problem in the market.
Okay. Every new technology creates disruption in human capital or disruption in work patterns. So yes, artificial intelligence, which is neither artificial nor intelligence, it's a better way of processing information, more fast, more rapid, more integrated, more dimensions of data. It's going to render some jobs less important. Example, if you're the driver of the truck or the taxi, when autonomous taxis become common ground, that job is going to disappear. Or maybe that job will still be there, but in a different way. It's like the taxi driver is now a co-pilot rather than even the driver of the car. So you'll need different skills, and you can do different jobs at the same time. So that really means that the people that are doing certain jobs will be able to do faster the same job. Other people will have to reallocate the functions they do to other jobs. And that's just part of IT since I've been here. See, the same thing has happened not just in IT, it has happened when we had the Industrial Revolution. Everything was done by manual labor, then it was done by the steam engine. So now we have artificial intelligence, which is a better way of processing and treating information. That means, for example, if you're writing media content, or if you're writing new video, or you're creating a new podcast, maybe this podcast can be partially created or co-created by artificial intelligence. So it means the same person can actually do the job of 2 or 3 people. So yes, so that means the remaining people that are no longer needed, they have to find place in other types of jobs. But this is an ongoing evolution that has started many years ago, and it will continue to accelerate.
I think you can use this with your brain if you can.
See, there is one element that today artificial intelligence can yet not do very good. One is to feel what people feel, so, or to be even to have a certain amount of innovative creation. It is still not there. So there's still a place for humans to actually enhance. That's why, for example, I do not necessarily see artificial intelligence as a threat to people's jobs. It just means that people's roles in the job are actually going to change. So if they learn how to use artificial intelligence correctly, they'll use artificial intelligence as like a co-pilot or an assistant to them. So they'll be able to actually be more productive. So I see that as beneficial, not as non-beneficial.
I know that some projects in Dubai, for example, real estate, want to build a community in artificial intelligence, want to create interesting programs in AI. What do you think about it? It's a good decision or not? And how to do it?
I do believe that every technology and software is invented and created by many diverse groups. There's not one company is able to create all the solutions. So I do believe that the same way you have today marketplaces for NFTs, for people that create different NFTs, we should actually have also a different marketplace for AI. And we have some colleagues that have actually done that. One is a group called Singularity Net. that has created this concept in which people can create their own AI and make it available and be able to actually be monetizable. Which means what they do is they're actually democratizing the usage of AI. So different groups can create different AI algorithms, and you as a person who's trying to use them either in your applications or in your own business, you're then able to search and find the right ones and then select the ones that are more applicable.
Okay, and now AI is most clickbait in other articles on the site. Is it true?
No, I don't think so. I mean, today the problem with any new technology, there is always a period of time where there's overexcitement. Overexcitement means people think that this technology is going to solve all the problems. The same way blockchain. We go back 5-7 years ago, blockchain had to be in every single system that we do. That is not true. Blockchain solves a very specific problem. And the same thing actually happens with AI. AI will help solve some of the problems because it's based on the quality of data and the data available. But AI is not going to be able to solve all the problems that we have. AI by itself does not create a good user experience. Somebody has to actually design this good user experience. So you need to combine AI with human creativity together to actually create something unique. But AI will actually help accelerate the usage of data in ways that was not possible before.
Okay. As for me, I use other tools. For example, I use ChatGPT for understanding some articles and transformation. I use Udru.com. It's a program about create articles, and also I like video creation because I do podcasting. What's your preferred tools in AI?
Today, one of the most interesting tools that I found is interesting is called Auto ChatGPT.
Auto?
ChatGPT, which is like Auto GPT, if you want to call it. So instead, it's like an automated GPT. So instead of just asking the initial question, Auto GPT will feed it back to ChatGPT and continue the next steps. So that means you're actually now watching artificial intelligence talk to itself to see how far it can actually go. So I consider this to be an interesting innovation, and it can lead to results that are completely unexpected to what we have seen before. So I think this is pushing the edge of what can actually be done with artificial intelligence. So have a try. Let's try it.
Can you advise for my subscribers who can want starting create startups and others, we are real estate, dentists and so on, step by step, what do you need to steps in this business? What do you need?
I believe that in any kind of startup,
in Dubai?
in Dubai,
Yes.
no, everywhere. It does not have to be, because today startups, because of internet, can be everywhere. First is have the three ingredients: MBC, money, brains, and connections. So any good startup, don't try to do everything by yourself. Find good investors if you don't have the money. Find good people and brains to help you write the right solutions. And find good connections, which means APIs to other systems and ecosystems so that you can succeed. Then the other thing that I find very important is you need to always refresh your assumptions. Most businesses make mistakes because their assumptions are static. So the good businesses are the ones that are able to pivot. So they have tried 3 or 4 different things, and they adapt to the new thing that is the most successful, the fastest way possible. So they have to try lots of things, be comfortable with the few things that they will try will probably fail, but out of 10 things that failed, maybe 1 or 2 will actually be successful. And this is what will allow them to actually succeed in a better way.
For example, if this project haven't investor, what they can do? for example, no.
Okay, so let's assume you don't have an investor, so you need to go talk to investors. But if you don't know how to talk to investors, you need to help people that help you talk to investors. Means you need to talk the language that investors expect you to have. Means you should have a paper that describes what your business is. You should have what we call a pitch deck. If you don't know what a pitch deck is, go get information on what a pitch deck is, what it should contain inside. And if this pitch deck has got the necessary information, then you can talk to investors in the same language they understand. Typically, once the investor is then interested in your business, then you need to create what we call usually a term sheet. And term sheet is the relationship of that investment. There is many kinds of relationship of investment. Maybe that person is interested in buying tokens. Maybe that person is interested in buying a percentage of your business by investing in it and then getting shares. Maybe that person is only interested in loaning you the money to the business and get a return for that money. So that term sheet defines that relationship between the investor and your business. So this is very important. Most startups don't have this knowledge in them to be able to establish that relationship. So then you have to go to people that help them do that.
I talked with other people who had a presentation on startups Web3 summit in Lisbon, and they have a problem with communicators, other investors.
Because they have different language. Investors are people that come from financial background, they come from a banking background, they come from a fintech background. So you need to understand their language so you can talk similar to them. So you need to have a business plan. So if you don't have a business plan, they will not talk to you very well.
Okay.
Business plan means like forecasts of expenses and returns for your business for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. You need to have this information so then you can speak the same language as they expect.
Okay. Thank you, George.
My pleasure.
Thank you, George. Thank you,
My pleasure.
our
Always
viewers.
welcome.
Yeah.